Sorry, I wasn't in the neighborhood of it.
No, these things that...
This one you need.
No, with paper. You write with colors. You have some paper blocks and then just write.
Okay, I'm gonna answer.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to start. I'm happy to be here, and the only sad thing for me is that our friend Val Holland is no more there, which is a real pity. And I'm going today to explain you, or try to show you, some ways to search the web which are, in my opinion, more effective than the way people normally use. And these will be connected, and you will see why, with some anti-advertisement tricks. And the last one will be how to kill the advertisement banner in Opera 5.1, which is the current version as far as I know. It is a very annoying habit that they have to put this advertisement everywhere, and I think people should be aware of the fact that it is very easy to nuke them. But let's begin with web searching, which I think is quite interesting. The web is growing with an amazing pace, and at the moment it is somewhere between 5 billions, so milliards, and 6 milliards indexable sites. There are two theories now. One is that the pace of growth is slowing down. We will see that in 1 month's time, if it is true or not. And that would be the low mark there. And the other theory is that the pace is still amazing, and in that case, it is little. Just a moment, I will show you the date, because, yeah. And in that case, we will see end of next month if, that makes quite a change, but anyway, the main point is that 5 million pages are not indexed by the main search engines. And the best one, like Google, WebTop, and FAST, do index at most a third of it. So, as you will see, you have to use other methods to get at the guts of the web when you search the web. And you can, of course, always begin the search using a big non-Boolean search engine like Google or WebTop, and a Boolean one like FAST or Hotbot. Now, one of the problems of this kind of sessions is that I don't know if all the people here listening to me are, how much do you know about this kind of stuff. So I have to try to find a way to communicate with those among you that know quite a lot and those among you that don't know a lot. So if you get bored, or it is too complicated, or it is too simple, just tell me and I will change accordingly. The growth of the web is interesting because even I will show you how the web looks like from a searcher point of view. There is a huge area which is called the bulk of the web, which is the web that you know of, where you browse around, smearing all your data around. And only a small part of this is indexed by the main search engine. Then there are two parts of the web which are called outside linkers and outside linked, which are interesting for us because the outside linkers, they do point to the main core of the web, but there is no link whatsoever which goes back to them. So there is a special way to find these kind of pages, and the outside linked are the other way around. They are only pointed from the web, and there is no link back to the web from them. And then, around the web, if you want, there are a lot of so-called hidden databases, which are databases that you are supposed to pay or to adhere to some political plan in order to look at them. This is fortunately not true, because you can look at whatever is on the web with appropriate methods, and the web was built in order to share information and not in order to hide it. So there are very simple methods to get at any hidden database whatsoever. Some of them are really stupid. I don't know if you know this one, probably most of you do. Any Borland database, for instance, eBay did use a Borland in-price database, has a password hard-coded in it. They're being so stupid that they did it, and the password is politically correct. So, if you get to a porn site where you see that kind of funny put your name and password, and that is a Borland database, you just put politically correct, and chances are that you go inside, because eBay did change that and fix that, but most of the smaller sites using Borland database didn't, and the Borland programmer did hard-code this password inside it. So this is a very stupid and simple way to get to a hidden database. There are better ways. One of the funniest, interesting one is guessing. As you may know, guessing is actually an art, and it works very well. For instance, let's say somewhere you are looking for software and you find somewhere something like this: target site com demo apps zip. So you can download this apps zip and you can use it for 30 days or whatever. Well, you don't actually need to crack it, because somewhere you will have target site com product, for instance, apps zip. Only these apps zip here will be the complete software. And after a while, you will see that the name are always the same. They don't have much fantasy. So product or real or paid or something like that. You can shoot 100 of them with a bot in 2 seconds and get your whatever. The same applies to libraries, bookstores, whatever. So on the web, at the moment, there is everything. Every music, every image, every book ever written is on the web somewhere. And national libraries in some small country are going online in this very moment. The prices of storage are going lower and lower and make very easy for anybody to put everything on the web. And once something is on the web, it remains forever, because somebody else will copy it immediately, and somebody else will copy the copy, and somebody else will copy the copy of the copy. So there is no way to pull something back from the web. So these idiotical home pages with me and my dog Barky will remain until 5,000 or 6,000 or something like that, forever. But this is very interesting as well, because even if you happen to be able to get something off the web, well, there are some automated bots that have made a copy of it which is public. Google, for instance, has a cached copy of every page. Now, this is very interesting for searcher, because it means that sometime you can find pages that somebody did put on and then didn't want anymore to have on. But Google has made a copy of them, and there are many other automatical bots, retrievers, that are doing the same thing for private purposes. Those among you that have a server and that have some look at their loggings know very well how often it happens that very funny spiders come along and just spider everything inside. And some of them behaving well, some of them behaving very badly, and sometimes bogging down the server resources. Now, another interesting thing which has been demonstrated is that the web is very narrow. The diameter is apparently 19 clicks. There is something that I have to tell you right now. I don't need to give you much references for what I say, because you are supposed to be able to search the web, or you will be able to search the web at the end of this session. So when I say that the web is 19 clicks wide, the diameter of the web, you can immediately go on your laptop, type in Google the plus diameter plus 19, and you will find all necessary references. So that's the reason I'm just speaking like that, as if I knew what I'm speaking about. So these 19 clicks diameter means that you can go from any site in the web to any other site with a maximum of 19 clicks. Since there is a logarithmical relation between the diameter of the web and the huge width of the web, even if the web carries on growing with the same pace, and even if it will be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, the diameter will never go beyond 21. So 21 is apparently the limit, 22 maybe. This is very good news for searchers, because it means that it doesn't matter how much crap, how much advertisement, how much shit they do put on the web, you will always be able, in a maximum of a quarter of an hour, to find whatever you want on the web. It should never take longer than a quarter of an hour to find what you're looking for, unless you are really on a very long-term stalking query. We'll speak about that later. But for normal, and unfortunately there is no web connection, which is, I'm happy of that, because it avoids me the embarrassment. Always there's somebody says, find this please, and I have to find it quickly, and it is very difficult. So I'm happy that I don't have any web connection here. But normally it is so. You should find in 5 minutes whatever you're looking for broad queries, 15 minutes maximum. If in 15 minutes you have not found what you're looking for, your search strategy is wrong, and you should change it. So how do you search? Well, the first thing to understand is this sad situation here. Where is it? Yeah. As you can see, and the problem is that even the the biggest search engines, like Google and Fast and WebTop, they cover only a very, very, very small part of the web. They overlap among them, which means that all the search engines together, even if you would use all of them when you search, you would only cover 1/3 of the web with that. A good idea, as I told you at the beginning, when you make a broad search and you begin with the main search engine, is to use a non-Boolean, like Google and WebTop, and a Boolean one, like Hotbot, AltaVista, Fast, together. Because that way you can have the funny algorithms of Google working for you on one side, and still the control that only Boolean are near, and you know, I hope what Boolean terms are when searching, only the Boolean engine allow you. So a good couple would be Google and Fast, or Hotbot and WebTop. WebTop is a little funny actually, but Google and Web and Hotbot, something like that. Yes? Yes?
Otherwise, we increase the monitor, the display.
It's okay. If we need that, we'll do it. But because I already had everything here ready.
You have another 16 curves.
Yes, we can see. Yeah, okay. So now, how? I mean, well, let's first see the main search engine, which are important and which anyway you will use most of the time. When you use the main search engines, you must be aware of a very important thing, and that is why there are search engines. Why did Google, Fast, WebTop, AltaVista build them? Why are you allowed to use them for free? Well, the reason is not because you can see the small silly advertisements. By the way, Google hasn't any, or almost any. And the reason is not to show you how powerful digital computers are for AltaVista or something like that. The reason is that they know what you're searching for, which is the point of adding a search engine. Imagine that you have Google, and imagine that you can check around the 130 million people using it that day, that 1 million persons are going to look for some share. Well, that means that that share is going up or down or something like that, and you know that before. Insider trading is nothing in comparison with the power that search engines give you. When the researcher at the European Bank in Frankfurt are preparing something for the European Bank, Central Bank, and using Google, Google knows what they're doing before the European Union knows. That's another example. Even small search engines, so site search engines, give you some power. On my sites, I have a Namazu search engine, which is used by the people that search on my sites, and sometimes looking in logins, I find amazing things. What's that? And then you look for that, and it's quite something interesting. So the real reason the search engines do exist is to take due note of what you are searching for. That's the same reason there are free email addresses, because they read your email. I mean, they're not physically reading it, they have grabbing bots that look through all your emails. And when they see that 20,000 people are going to sell that share, they know that. That's the reason of Yahoo and Hotbot and everything. And the same reason for free home pages. You have free home pages because that way you provide contents that they can look at and have a look at, which is the real reason of all that. So that's the first thing that you have to know. So it's up to you to let everybody else on the web know what you're doing or not. Maybe you don't care at all, maybe you do care. In case you care, you should begin to think about using proxies or even commercial programs that will give you some degree of anonymity when browsing on the web. Chaining proxy is very simple and quite effective. Actually, then you need the CIA in order to get you. So, when you have finished with your first search through the main search engines, which you should always, as you probably know, very simple things, you should use quotes for, these are very banal things, quote for phrases. A plus means the term must be there. A minus, so for instance, minus tits will avoid all porn sites in your results. And quote means that the terms you're looking for must be in that order. And near is a very useful when searching Boolean operator. In most search engines that adhere to the Boolean standard, near means 20 words apart. So the two terms you're looking for instance, politically near correct, which actually is not a good example, but anyway, must be 20 words apart and no more. There are some more specific Boolean operator that will allow you to specify how many words apart two terms must be, but these you can find everything that on the web very easily. You just look for advanced searching tips in quote on Google and you find everything, and you will study it if you like that. We are going now to see what you can do when you're finished with these main search engine and how can you go further. So here we are. Now, a very powerful way to search is to go regional. I mean, if you are so lucky that you know some Russian and some Chinese, some Japanese, some Arabic and some Korean, and you use Russian, Chinese, Arabic or Korean search engines, you will find amazing things, especially in countries which are not so obsessed with copyrights. In those countries, you can find gems, jewels, incredible things. And you can find the same things that you would have found in these countries because they did copy them. So, for instance, there is no single O'Reilly book which you cannot in 5 minutes find on the web, just to make an example. There are deposits of O'Reilly books, really, with perfect HTML. I mean, you can really PDF, whatever you want. So regional search engines are very, very powerful. And you would be well advised to use them even if you don't know the language. Now, there are two ways of looking for regional search engines. The first one is in English. So let's say we are interested in something Spanish. We would go to Google, we begin with that, and then Spanish search engines. And if you do that on Google, you will get quite a lot of sites with list of Spanish search engines. But there is a better way, which is to know a little your languages and write buscadores hispanos. In this case, you will get better lists of Spanish search engines. I mean, there is a whole part of searching which is evaluating, but that's something else. But in this way, you will get sites with a lot of Spanish search engines, sites that are made by people, most of them that know their stuff, so you have a better quality if you want in this case. Same thing applies in Russian or whatever. Now, regional search engines is the first level. The second level is maybe a little confusing, that term, we should change it. It's called local search engines, but it is not geographically, it is something else, and I will show it to you. So, local searching is private message boards, web rings, search engines for home pages like GeoCities, that kind of things. This is a little more, you lose more time there, but it can be at times, depends what you're searching for, of course, but let's say you're searching for MP3. Well, I wouldn't search for MP3 on Google. I would search for MP3 on a Russian good FTP search engine, for instance, or on a Greek local search engine, or something like that. And then there is one huge part of the web, which most of you know, which is Usenet. I'm always amazed when I speak of these things that a lot of young people don't know and don't use Usenet. Usenet, with thousands of news groups, as you know, millions of news groups, is huge. It's really huge. It is so huge that there is no way you can have it on one single server battery. So it is shifting in the server. The same news group on one server will present to you some emails, and on another server others emails, and on another one others as well. It is very difficult to have everything on the same server, as those of you that use Usenet know. But Usenet is very important when you begin a long-term search, because the real trick when you search is to search people that have already searched what you're searching for. There is no point in reinventing everything. So if you are searching for, I don't know, Mendelssohn music, it doesn't make any sense that you look yourself for Mendelssohn MP3. There is somebody somewhere that already did it 2 years long and knows where all the Mendelssohn are. So you find him, and you get everything. So the real correct way to search is to search for people that have already searched. And in that, Usenet is invaluable. With Usenet, and in very quick time, you can have really the treasures you are looking for. And as you probably know, until some time ago, 2 months ago, 3 months, I don't remember, in order to search Usenet, you would have used DejaVu, which was the main search engine for Usenet. Now, DejaVu has been bought by Google, which is buying everything at the moment. And so Usenet searching is now mostly done in Google. But there are other Usenet search services. A very interesting one of those will give you only the URL, so the internet addresses, which appear in a given news group messages. So you don't need to read hundreds of emails or to find out who is important or who is not important. You just get all the URL, and then you practically have a packet of probably interesting links that you can begin to use almost immediately. So Usenet searching is very important. Regional searching, you have seen, it is linguistic searching actually, and local searching is quite a lot of different things, but will allow you as well to. So, now, something else that you can do is to write your own search bots, or to modify the commercial ones. In order to modify software programs, you will have to know some basic of software reverse engineering, which will give you cosmic power practically. I think there is nothing like software reversing which can give you real power now. Everything is software, almost everything, and the moment you can modify software, you can do whatever you want. Tell me, I'm sure there are a lot of system administrators among us here. I don't think that anybody is going to check all the Windows DLL inside Windows system. Well, you can modify those DLL, and then you can have some call at those modified DLL to do whatever you want inside the corporation without them sniffing out, because you're not using new software. You're not introducing nothing. You're just modifying an existing DLL using a snippet of that code to do other things. That's just a very simple example, but I will show you something. This is a very funny small program that I will give to you if you are interested in that. Look at it. So this is the Windows with the advertisement. You see it, yeah? Now, sorry. Okay. Oh, why doesn't it work? It did work for you. Okay. So, there's no more. Your mother could do that. It doesn't matter where, in any software. You could actually, I wanted to minimize it because it's even more funny. Since that window is not thought to be minimized, when you minimize it, it doesn't go all the way down because it can't. I will show it to you if I manage to get it. Yeah, see? Not able to go down. Minimize there. So, that's a very stupid and simple way to kill advertisement, of course. I will show you another one which is more fun and you can use more often. But it is very interesting. I used to show that just to show you how important it is to know something about how you can modify the software you have. You can have, of course, your Opera or Microsoft Explorer or whatever in other colors. You can change the colors, you can change the dimension, you can change everything. And you can do things that you're not supposed to. Some of the routines inside these browsers, not so much Opera, which is a very good browser that I would recommend you to use. It is the best thing in Opera. Go back to that in a moment. Now let's maximize it, now restore it. Okay. So, the best thing in Opera is that you have this icon here. You see it? When you click that, no more images. This means that when you load one of those terrible pages with a lot of images which slow down everything, you just click on the icon and then you load quickly. The other icon is no background. You know that some pages have this awful green or red background, you cannot read it. Oh, kill it. Bye. Look. Okay? You don't see it very well here. Anyway, there is not much background, it's just gray now, it's no more. So, these alone would justify Opera. The same things you can do in Microsoft Explorer, but they are buried underneath, I don't know how many clicks that you have to do, and then you have to set up either no images or images forever. Here you can selectively kill images, which is very important on a commercial web, where we browse nowadays, where you lose a lot of time because some idiot wants you to look at some idiot thing. And this should not be allowed, and Opera is a valuable ally in this. Moreover, as you can see here, Opera has only one instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 page open. If I use Microsoft Explorer, every new page is a new instance. Microsoft Explorer, as you know, I hope, here it is, new page, coming along, second instance, 1, 2. You know what that means for resources bogged down when you have 20 windows open. So that's a very good reason not to use Microsoft Explorer, but it's not the main one. The main reason not to use Microsoft Explorer, beside the fact that it's Microsoft, is that Microsoft Explorer is huge. It's something now, I think it's 35 megabytes at the moment, the last version, I'm not sure, anyway, something like that. Opera is 1.5 megabytes. So in these 35 megabytes, there is everything. I tell you, everything. Apart from all Easter eggs like small things, but there are other things. There are snippet 1 million bytes long of code which were just left in and never used. Same with Sorry? Yeah. Which is interesting from another point of view, and maybe you should in that case use Microsoft Explorer, because some part of this code you can use them. If you write your own, I don't know how to call it, Microsoft Wizard program, you can use part of Microsoft Explorer code which you're not supposed to use. And as there are some sites on the web that explain very well this, better than I couldn't do it here in 5 minutes. And if you want to have fun, that is something that you can really make in your office and to impress your colleagues. So that's the reason to use Opera manifold, and I hope you understood them. And so we'll now say goodbye to Microsoft Explorer forever. It is connected. Okay, but I think we don't actually just finish that here, and then you can later on experiment on the web searching. I mean, each one of you will have some interests, I hope, for you. And well, if you know how to search, you will probably find people that have the same interest that you have, and then already found out things that you not yet thought you should find out. And this is great fun, because whatever, I mean, I remember some time ago, I did remember only 1 or 2 rhymes of a very old lullaby that I did hear when I was a kid. And just, I didn't thought to look on the web for it, and then I did it, and I found something like 200 different sites about lullabies. And I was really, I still now amazed on the depth of some of these things. Now, the problem is that a lot of things on the web are crap. So what you must find are the small nuggets of knowledge and information inside really mountains of commercial crap. To do that, there are some tricks. One of them I showed before, which was the, very stupid, the minus tits when you search. But a very good one is minus, quote, point, com. Try your search with that. It's beautiful. It eliminates all these idiots. So there are many like that. I mean, on my sites, you will find them. How to find my sites? You go to Google, you put Fravia inside. That's very easy. And but there are specific sites which are dedicated to specific aspects. Some of them are very interesting. For instance, I want to speak to you a moment, if you want, about claiming or stalking first. Stalking.
Can you spell your name so I can read it?
Sorry?
Can you spell your name?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it is. Stalking is something that you use, or you can use it for many things. You can use it to punish your enemies or whatever. Mostly, you use it to find people that have found things that you are interested in, but do not want to give them to you, which is very nasty, because knowledge should always be spread and never hoarded. So, unfortunately, there are people which use knowledge in order to make money, as funny as this may seem to you. And most of these people find interesting things and then hide them or use them for their own advantage. And so in order to find these people, use stalking, claiming, and other things. For instance, some good, very good experts about search engines are the spammers. Spammers are people that try to have their sites in the first 10 position. Most of the idiots and zombies, when make a search, they only look at the first page. They don't even go down. So it is of paramount importance for these people to have their own site on the first 10 position in order to have hits, clients, people that buy something, whatever. So what do? They don't do a very good site in order to have that in the first position. No, they study the algorithms which are used by Google, AltaVista, and whatever in order to rank results, and then they build specific sites for specific search engines in order to have these sites in the first position. Some of these sites have nothing whatsoever to do with what you were looking for, but are very good in placing themselves in the first position. Now, since this is a sector where there is a lot of money to be done, main search engine algorithms, a lot of people are doing that professionally. And these people have message boards, secret message boards, where they exchange their little snippets of knowledge, or they write down, yeah, you know, I found a new pool of algos in AltaVista and it is like that and that and that. So what do? Of course, we find these message boards and we read all of that and then we publish it. And in order to do that, most of the time it's very easy, you just use the loggings on your site. So it works this way. This is called claiming. I will show it to you. You have a very good site about searching. So these people check it regularly. And then you prepare a new page, which is very interesting. It's something very interesting for these people, for the spammers. And then you go to a message board where you know they hover around and say, I just published a very great discovery. They are always so quick in wanting to go there that they don't take any precaution. So they don't use any proxy, nothing. They just come directly there from wherever they are. Now, as you know, there are referrals in the browser, which, if you don't deactivate them, as you should, will give you the last site you were before coming to my server or to your server. So, on my loggings, when I do these kind of tricks, I immediately get something like 50 new locations I didn't know of these people where they were. So some of them are in these outside linkers, so sites that they never had the link to. Some of them were on message boards. Some of them were somewhere else. Anyway, most of them are quite interesting. So these referrals, back tracing, if you want, is very important when searching, because it is one of the most simple way to get at people that wouldn't want to give you the knowledge that you want to have. So another good idea is to write your own bots. Among the presents here is a very famous PHP bot writer, Laurent, sitting somewhere, I don't know where. And if you visit his PHP lab, you will find with source code all possible search bots. I think it's one of the very few places on the web where you can have search bots code for you to modify, to use, to do whatever. Of course, it is in PHP. You can port it to C or Perl or whatever. Another way is to use commercial bots, but to modify them, of course. The most common ones are WebFerret and Copernic. I don't know if somebody of you ever used them. This kind of bot, Copernic and WebFerret, are in reality Trojans. So the first thing they do, they connect to the original server. Well, the excuse is that they have to check if some search engine algos did change. In that case, they have to change inside your software in order to access these search engines. When you use these bots, they will access some search engines and then bring you the results back, eliminate all double things, and give you a list of results from many search engines. So the first thing they do is that, and then they will go search, and then they will bring you these results, and at the same time they will tell to the server what you did search for, of course. That's the reason they have been published and given for free. But if you know a little software reversing, which you should, you can modify them. So you can, how would you say that, couple them, use them for your own purposes without giving whatever information to this. And you can do even better. You can write or modify, you can write your own bot and use this information on the server in order to update your own bots. So they have 20 persons working every day and looking when Google changed something, and they put that here for their own Copernicus web ferret, and you with your own private bot just go to this server, get all this information, then go away. The contrary. Which is exactly what Laurent did, actually, and not only Laurent, many people, but it's great fun, actually, because you're really screwing them, which is nice. And yeah, we have some more time. Yes, own bot writing. Of course, this is, you must know a little program. I mean, it's not very complicated, you know, that you just take the skeleton of an existing bot in a language that you understand, for instance in Perl, and then you modify it and you try it. And when you make mistakes, you just modify it. It is great fun. And then in the morning when you go in your office, you shoot your searching bots, and they go around and fish, and then you work something, or you take a coffee, and then they go back to you with all the results, and that's made. And it's great fun to search the web that way, because this is the way that will allow you, to arrive to this level. Now we have something like 70% of the web covered. I mean, this is a very rough estimate that I have made. It is based on some data and some estimation and some guesses. You know, even the width of the web, I told you that it's between 5,000 million and 6,000 million sites, but actually it is anybody's guess. The way it is calculated is the following. I mean, one of the way. You have a small segment of the web, very specialistic, and you know how many sites are there in 99. Then you check the same segments, a very small segment, in 2000. And then you extrapolate and you say, oh, the web is 5 million. That's the way they do it. I mean, but apparently it is around those data. So, but even when you've done all of these, there is a part of the web which sometimes it is a very rewarding part, where real important things are, which you didn't reach. In order to do that, you must use a long-term strategy. So you must really, it is not something that you do for a lullaby. It's something that you do in order to find some PDF file which is very important for you, and you know that a university somewhere has it. And that way, using all of these, stalking a little, you have some chances to arrive to that uncovered part of the web. We are speaking of parts of the web now which are not indexed, of course. Otherwise it would be very easy to get to them. There are some tricks that I would like to show you, 2 or 3 of them at least. Just a moment. Yes. Oh. Top 100 rankings, which are also interesting. There are a lot of public counters, which, by the way, have the same reason as everything else that is for free on the web. The reason is to know what you're doing and to have a panorama of sites. These public counters sometimes have ranking lists of sites that use these counters, and sometimes these lists are divided for specification. So you have, I don't know, porn sites on one side and sites about architecture on another side, whatever. These top 100 things are not very important per se, but are very interesting if they are in another language that you don't understand. There you have an example of a Russian top 100 thing, where you have one sub-directory software. So those are the top 100, if you do that search there, if you go to that, you will find the top 100 Russian sites about software, which, as you will see if you go there, is quite interesting. So top 100 are also very useful for regional searching. Another trick, which is very fun, great fun, is the robots text trick that probably you all already know. So, as you know, the main search engine do send spiders to the sites. These spiders will list everything that is on the site, make a copy of it eventually, and then the search engine will use those data in order to answer your queries. Most search engines adhere to a standard, which is the robots TXT standard. That means that the first thing they do when they arrive on a site, they look if a file called robots text, which is a plain, simple text file, exists. In this file, if it exists, there is a list of subdirectories that the search engine should not index. So the search engine looks and doesn't index that, and go only to the subdirectories which are not in the robots file. Okay? These should not index. Apart from the fact that there are many search engines, like your own bots, that couldn't care less about the robots text, important things is that if you look at these robots text, the first thing you see is exactly what you shouldn't see. So you put target site, it is in the root of the site, com, robots txt, and you look at that, and then you see all the subdirectory which you shouldn't look at. Right. More and more people know about this and less, but if you do a search for robots text, you will be amazed how many still exist, which may also be quite interesting. I want now to show you the cosmic power of software reverse, and I will show it to you here on this very Opera file. I'm not doing anything illegal, because when I did install this Opera here, and I had the end user license agreement with I accept, I refuse. I put I refuse here and I accept here, and I clicked I refused. So I completely, I did it. I have JPG images to demonstrate it. Now, it was very easy with the precedent version of Opera to kill it, because, I will show it to you. Well, I mean, this is not very important. Yeah, you should buy Opera, by the way. It's a very great, great browser. I mean, great fun to use. But it is just to show you how fun it is to know how to reverse. So, in the precedent version, it was very easy. This is a disassembly. There are two tools you should find on the web. You know how to search now, so you will find them. The first important tool is this one. This is called SoftEyes. SoftEyes is a beautiful thing. Windows runs inside it. Now I have frozen Windows completely. And you are looking at the point in the code we are in this very moment. So Windows is frozen. I cannot do nothing in Windows now until I finish to use software. This is the must-have debugger. The other tool is a disassembler. There are two main disassembler. The best one is the interactive disassembler made by my friend Ilfat Gulfanov, which is a Russian genius, who has made a disassembler that works for everything, even for EPUB, which is great fun because the protection in these programs are so stupid that you can kill them in one moment. And the second disassembler is the DASM. The DASM 89, which was made by Peter Urbanik, which is quick. It is one I'm using here. I mean, IDA is for serious work. WASM is just for stupid things like this one. Now, as you can see, in the code of Opera 5.0, there was this snippet. Now, I will tell you what that is. This is a set window of position routine, which is the routine which decides where and how big that advertisement should be. And it says 40 in hexadecimal and 1d8 wide. Now, what you can do, of course, which is correspond to 64 and 470. I'm not cracking this. In order to crack Opera, you just find the routine where you register. You modify it so that you register whenever you make a wrong password. And only if you really guessed the right password, you would not register. That's very easy in the case of Opera. So we're not cracking Opera now. We're just showing you how you can modify that things so that you kill that Windows forever. You modify 68 D8 01 0000 with an X editor like this one. Sorry, I must go back to the other one to show you that. And you put 68 D8, no, 68 00 00 0000. So you push 0. So the white of the advertisement will be 0. So this was very, very easy in Opera 5.0. So the programmer at Opera thought hard how to modify that for 5.1 and came with this idea. So there is no 1d8, the white is always 1d8, but the 1d8 doesn't exist anymore in the code. There is a call to move EAX 1d4 and then EAX plus 4. So 1d4 and 4 is 1d8. So what you can do now here is to find this snippet of the code, E8, where is it? Yeah, this one, B8 D4 01 0000, and modify it to B8 01, just to show it to you, 000000. And that's what we're going to do now before closing this workshop. What was it? It is already. I already prepared it, yeah? So. Yes. Okay? You see what I've done. I modified 2 bytes of the code. Save. No, sorry. That's because it is open. I must close it. Okay, I modified 2 bytes of the code. See the window? It's 5 pixels. And it will be forever 5 pixels in this thing. So that's it. If you have any... Sorry. Don't see very well the window. I will... It is here, yeah? That is small thing. It is a window. It's advertisement, it's there. Now, this is nonsense because this Opera would still be loading advertisement when you browse on the web, but you wouldn't see it. So the fun thing is that it negates the very raison d'etre of the advertisement, which is the thing that I enjoy. I mean, in order to speed up Opera, you would have to modify the code in order not to load at all any advertisement, which is trivial and very easy, but I'm not going to do that now. I just wanted to show you that with a very tiny modification, you can have your eyes will not have to look at these horrible things. I mean, and that's the power of software reversing, which is very important when you search the web, because you will be continuously confronted with people that want to make money out of you, which should not be allowed. So, any questions?
When you talk about the customer,
Yes.
is it possible to find
The customizer. On my site, you have 2 versions of it. You can download it from my site, or I can put it on the on the LAN here, if you want. It is a trigger demonstration version which will expire in 6,000, so you will be able to use it. Well, that's a very nice trick as well. I mean, I will show it to you because it's fun. So, let's say you install something in 2001. Okay? This is 7D1. Okay? Now you modify 7D1 with something like this. And it will run until 3025. 2 bytes modification. Okay? Any more questions? Are you happy with that or was confused?